Everyone keeps asking if now is a good time to buy in Pensacola. And the answer you're hearing online is probably not matching what's actually happening here. Hello, I'm Pepper White. I'm a local Pensacola realtor, and I help buyers and sellers navigate this market every day. So I want to tell you what is really happening right now. And better than that, I want to illustrate it with actual numbers. So a lot of the things that have made the narrative over the last several months with respect to the housing market, and particularly across the nation, are things like sales are declining, inventory is increasing, it's taking much longer to sell homes, and that values are softening. So I actually am going to break down each one of these for you as it relates to the greater Pensacola area and specifically single family homes. Obviously, there's a lot of ways to cut the data, but I feel like that's probably the broadest and most relevant to the biggest number of you. And so that's where I'm going to start. So let's talk about number one, which is sales declining. So in 2024, for the full year here in Pensacola, 8,122 homes were sold. Now, in 2025, there were, hold on to your seats, 8,096 homes sold. So that is 26 fewer homes. Technically, yes, that is a decline, but really with 8,000 plus homes sold, I'd call that pretty steady. So in Pensacola, single family homes, our sales are steady. So now the second one. Inventory is increasing. Well, if we look at 2024, again, still the Pensacola area, single family homes, there were about 11,000 homes listed for sale between January 1st and December 31st of that year. And in 2025, again, homes listed from January 1st through December 31st, there were actually 10,547 homes listed for sale. So we actually had a reduction of 453 homes between 2024 and 2025. So that would say that our inventory is actually declining. And if you look at it year to date, so comparing, where we are in January now to where the market was in January last year, it's actually 77 fewer homes so far. So that trend is continuing in 2026. So our inventory is actually declining here in Pensacola. Third is it takes longer to sell. Okay, so in 2024, the average days on market for a home in Pensacola was 61 days. And in 2025, that number was 75. Okay, that's an increase of 14 days. And then if we, look at that, though, it is 4% of the total days in a year. So it's not a massive increase, but it's about 2 weeks. Now, looking at how that trend is sort of starting out in 2026, comparing where we are now to the same period in 2025, we've gone from 75 days to 76 days. So now at a total of 15 days more than we were in 2024. So, okay, it is taking a little longer to sell, but not substantially. And then fourth is that home values are softening. So looking at 2024, the average sales price was $382,000. In 2025, the average sales price was $391,000. So an increase of $9,000. So clearly our home values have not really softened. The value increase, the appreciation has slowed. Now, if you look at home values from 2025, same period now, to compare it to now, where we are in 2026, we've seen the median price of sold homes in that time period increase by $5,000. So all this is to say that for those national headlines, those big four, Pensacola acts very, very differently. And not just Pensacola, many other smaller metropolitan areas do as well, and small towns, which is why it's important to speak to someone who works in the market every day. And keep in mind, these stats are for the entire Pensacola area. If I were to break down numbers for you in some of the other key areas that I work, like Gulf Breeze, while the numbers are a little bit different, they tend to follow that same trend. But if you look on Pensacola Beach, it actually is taking a fair amount of time longer to sell homes on the beach. And their prices have softened more than the rest of the market. I hope all this information has been helpful in answering the question, is now the time to buy in Pensacola? In my mind, this data supports a resounding yes, but I know every situation is different. So listen, if you want real, no nonsense, local insight without all the fluff, please be sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you're thinking about a move to Pensacola, please comment BUY, that's BUY, and your timeline, and I'll get you a copy of my buyer's guide.